Hi friends, if you like my videos, subscribe my channel and also press the bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you. So in this video, I am going to explain you about the Metagonimiasis disease. Actually, let us discuss about the introduction part and what is the causative agent which causes this disease and the life cycle, symptoms as well as the treatment, I mean the medications, which type of medications will be given for a person who is infected with this disease known as Metagonimiasis. All of these things let us learn in this video. So just coming to the introduction part. So normally this metagonimiasis is a intestinal disease which is mainly caused by an intestinal trematode, and the name of the trematode is known as Metagonimimus yokogawai. Okay, remember this one. And here this is the intestinal fluke. Okay, and this metagonimiasis disease has been researched and been described by Causative in the year 1911 to 1913. That's nothing but he gave a theory in 1913, and in 1911 and 1912 he discovered, he totally done research on this disease known as metagonimiasis. And later he also described that later many other scientists done much research on this type of disease known as metagonimiasis, and then later they declared that there are two other breeds which consist of the same species, and the two breeds are Metagonimus Takahashi and another one is Metagonimus miyatai. So these both were discovered by Suzuki and Saito after the discovery of this trematode by Katsurasa in 1911 to 1913. So here you can remember the year 1913, okay, because he described the theory in 1913 itself. Okay, so this will be the just introduction part of this metagonimiasis. So now let us learn the causative agent which causes this disease known as metagonimiasis. So this one is the same which I have said you before itself, Metagonimus yokogawai. So this is the fluke, this is the intestinal fluke which causes the disease known as metagonimiasis, right? So this is called as fluke worm, and this belongs to the kingdom Animalia. This belongs to the class Trematoda, and this belongs to the family Heterophydae. So now let us see the structures of this Metagonimus yokogawai. Okay, so here you can see the two structures, right? One is known as heterophyes, and another is known as Metagonimus yokogawai. So here we are discussing about this Metagonus yokogawai which causes the disease known as metagonimiasis, and even this will also cause the metagonimiasis disease, but depending upon the regions, like if you see in this case it can be seen in the regions like Asia, Egypt and Hawaii. But if you see in this case of Metagonimus yokogawai, you can see in Far East region, Spain region, and also in the Balkan countries. In this way, depending upon the type of the regions, it depends the type of the disease which occurs in the human beings. But remember, both of these cause the same disease known as metagonimiasis. So this will be the structure of the heterophyes, and this will be the structure of Metagonimus yokogawai. So if you see here, this will be the structure, and here it consists of esophagus, ventral sucker, ovary, testis, excretory bladder, vitelliaria, cecum and oral sucker again. And here if you see the same parts will be present here. So this will be the structures of this heterophyes and Metagonimus yokogawai, but both of this cause the same disease known as metagonimiasis. So remember the structures properly. So now let us learn about the life cycle which will be caused this disease known as metagonimiasis by this Metagonimus yokogawai. So coming to the life cycle, we know that the life cycle is mainly caused by Metagonimus yokogawai, which is called as intestinal fluke. And remember that fluke is the smallest intestinal human fluke. And remember, in this life cycle I am going to remember this word as the intestinal fluke, and I am going to spell as the intestinal fluke itself. So remember, intestinal fluke is nothing but the Metagonimus yokogawai. It takes so much of time for me to spell this word. That's only the reason for easy purpose I am spelling this fluke as in the life cycle. But remember, the fluke is nothing but the Metagonimus yokogawai. So let us start the life cycle now. So the life cycle begins from the human beings. Okay, so make sure that the human beings consist of adult flukes. So how this adult fluke has been present in these human beings, you can know at the end of the life cycle, because it is a life cycle which will get repeated. So make sure that human beings consist of adult fluke in his small intestine. So these are the lungs, this is the stomach, this is the large intestine, and here the blue color one which I have drawn is known as small intestine. And make sure that the human beings which consists of small intestine consists of this adult flukes. Okay, so now what happens is that adult in the name itself indicates that it is in the mature form in such a way that this adult has a capacity to produce embryonated eggs. right? So this is the embryonated eggs. So this embryonated eggs can be exposed to the outer environment. How it can be exposed? By the by which it is present in the fecal matter. So normally we know that human beings releases the fecal matter, right? And that human beings who releases fecal matter, who is infected, I mean, consists of this adult fluke, right? So now that adult fluke will releases embryonated eggs, and that embryonated eggs will be present in the fecal matter, which has been exhibited out, which has been excreted out along with the human beings. Okay, so the fecal material which has been excreted by the human beings consists of the embryonated eggs which has been laid by the adult flukes. Exactly. So now what happens? So normally all of this process, I mean up to this excreting of fecal material occurs in the lakes or else in the ponds, you know, and within the same water snails will be present, right? So the fecal material which is present in that water consists of eggs, embryonated eggs which has been laid by the adult fluke. So what happens is that the snails will consume that eggs which are present in that fecal material. So here if you see in the diagram properly, these are the eggs, so these eggs will be consumed by the snails. So now what happens? From here actual process begins. So if you see here, within the tissues of the snails, hatching of the egg occurs. Remember, the hatching of the egg occurs within the tissues of the snails itself. So what happens? After the hatching of the egg, immediately miracidia will get protruded out. And now what happens? Now that miracidia will get transformed into sporocyst, and that sporocyst will get transformed into rediae, and that rediae will get transformed into cercariae. So remember, this whole process occurs in the tissues of the snails itself. Either it occurs in the intestine region or else either it occurs in the any part of the tissues, I mean. Okay. So now what happens? Remember, this is the last stage where the transformation occurs in the snails. So now what happens? The cercariae will get protruded out from the snails, either by the excreted material. Okay, so the cercariae which has been excreted by the snails, what happens is that the snails as well as that excreta will get separated out, and then what happens, the cercariae will get consumed by the fishes. We know that the water will also consist of fishes, right? And now what happens is that, as we know that the cercariae will be consumed by the fishes and it enters into the tissues of the fish. And now what happens is that the cercariae will get transformed into metacercariae within the tissues of the fish, remember. And now what happens? The fish will be consumed by the humans. Remember, unproper cooked fish itself. I mean, if you take in the case of village people, they will directly eat fishes. So without cooking properly, they will consume directly fishes. Then what happens is that this metacercariae which is present in the tissues of the fishes will be consumed also with the human beings. So this metacercariae will enter into human beings, and then what happens? It will get transformed into adult fluke within the small intestine. And again what happens? The total life cycle will get repeated. So this is about the life cycle of Metagonimiasis. So now let us see the symptoms which you can see in the person who is infected with this type of disease. And the symptoms include diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, vague, lethargy, anorexia, fatigue and malaise. So coming to the treatment, I am going to give you here the two drugs which is very important for the person should be injected. I mean, he should consume those drugs. Then what happens is that he may get cured or else he may get controlled by this disease. So here the two drugs are praziquantel, and this, remember, this praziquantel can be given either for the adults as well as this pediatric cases also, I mean the small children. Okay, and another one is tetrachloroethylene. So before consuming these both medicines, it's better to consult a doctor so that he will give appropriate quantity to consume those medicines, I mean these drugs. So this infection can be seen in 19 countries including Japan, Korea, China, Taiwan, Spain as well as Indonesia. So this is about the Metagonimiasis. Students, hope you would like this video, hope you would understand about this Metagonimiasis disease. So if you like this video, just do like and subscribe, and if you have any doubts regarding this video, you can comment in the comment box. Immediately the reply will be given for you people. Thank you.